Hi everyone, Shai here. I hope all of you are doing good. Welcome to another new video. It boggles sometimes mind that some people forego everyday food like bread and cheese for something potentially dangerous and deadly. It's like people are looking for bragging rights by eating something that could cause a serious amount of harm. Although some everyday food can be dangerous as well, from bitter almonds nutmeg. Here are some deadliest foods people actually eat. Number 1. Unpasteurized cheese. Out of all cases of food poisoning caused by contaminated dairy products, almost all of them come from unpasteurized cheese and milk. They also cause about 840 times more illnesses than their pasteurized counterparts and around 45 times more hospitalizations each year. About 760 cases of illness caused by unpasteurized milk and raw cheese are reported, which lead to about 22 cases of hospitalization, although that doesn't take into account all the unreported cases. If dairy products don't go through the pasteurization process, they can contain a wide range of bacteria like Salmonella, Campylobacter, E. coli, and Listeria. These can lead to typical food poisoning symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea, but also severe illnesses in some people. For example, Campylobacter can turn into Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is progressive paralysis. Not everyone recovers from it. Some E. coli strains can also result in hemolytic uremic syndrome, which may cause kidney failure. Pregnant women can also be at risk, with Listeria infections sometimes leading to miscarriages. Some people also die from Listeria infections as well. The problem is raw dairy products are on trend, and they're legal in many states throughout the United States. To prevent the risk of illness, consume pasteurized dairy products. The pasteurization process prevents spoilage. Number 2. Bitter almonds. Ask any nutritionist what to eat as a healthy snack, and their go-to would probably be a handful of almonds. They are delicious and nutritious, but you may not realize there are actually 2 types of almonds, and one is actually better for you than the other. We have access to sweet almonds and bitter almonds, the ones you see on your local supermarket shelf, and in baked goods are sweet almonds. It's only been in the last few thousand years that we've been able to get sweet almonds, as before then, only bitter almonds existed. Bitter almonds have a bitter taste, what do you know, and you won't find them in supermarkets. Typically, they're just used to make bitter pastes and extracts. Aside from the taste, you probably wouldn't eat bitter almonds because when raw, they're poisonous. They contain glycoside amygdalin, which is a toxin that breaks down into compounds like hydrogen cyanide. This toxin can cause death. Just 6 raw bitter almonds may be enough to seriously poison someone, while up to around 50 bitter almonds may lead to death. Some research shows that heat processing causes hydrogen cyanide to leach out of the almonds, but you probably wouldn't want to risk eating one to find out how much heating they require to be safe. Number 3. Nutmeg. The nutmeg we love to put in baked goods, drinks, and savory dishes comes from the nutmeg seed present within fruit grown on a tree in Indonesia. Once the fruit is harvested, the seed is dried before being turned into the spice that many people adore in eggnog, puddings, and pies. When you're hunting the internet for your favorite nutmeg dish recipe, you may come across a rumor that nutmeg can create a high. Is that true? Well, it's complicated. There's a chemical in nutmeg called myristicin, which is also present in plants like dill and parsley. It's a naturally occurring compound that tends to be found in higher concentrations in nutmeg. In the human body, the breaking down of myristicin can produce a compound that affects our sympathetic nervous systems. Some people experience a range of side effects like dizziness, nausea, and hallucinations, which may make some people want to consume a large amount of nutmeg spice to feel a type of high. Several nutmeg intoxication cases have been reported over the years, with some intentional and some unintentional. For example, an 18-year-old complained of dizziness, nausea, heart palpitations, and feeling like she was in a trance-like state after consuming 50 grams of nutmeg in a milkshake half an hour before her symptoms began. Another woman also experienced dizziness, confusion, grogginess, and a dry mouth after consuming only 10 grams or 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Before moving on to the next point, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you all to my merchandise. You can support my content by getting your favorite products from my store or by simply joining my channel. Your support means a lot to me. Now, let's get back to the video. Number 4. African bullfrogs. I can think of many reasons not to eat African bullfrogs, and that's without knowing that they're poisonous. I mean, they don't exactly look appetizing, right? In Namibia, locals know that giant African bullfrogs can cause kidney failure, but their deliciousness and being viewed as a delicacy means people eat them anyway. They're often eaten during the rainy season in Namibia, but people in the eastern province of Zambia also consume them. Except there, they reportedly eat them whole. According to some people, the deliciousness of these frogs outweighs the risks, especially when you can avoid many of the risks through proper preparation. Locals say to eat them after the third rain or when you start to notice the frog populations are breeding and croaking. Each frog, which can grow up to the size of your average house cat, can contain enough poison to be lethal. Typically, if you eat them after poor preparation, you may experience kidney failure and burning sensations in the urethra. Most people who eat them skin them and eat the legs. Fortunately, there's little risk of eating them without knowing what they are, since frog legs look like, well, frog legs. Number 5. FESIKH. Imagine wanting to follow your cultures and traditions so much that you'd be willing to die for them by eating something incredibly harmful. Every year in Cairo, when the spring festival Chamel Nassim begins, hospitals prepare beds for the inevitable rush of patients to come. Some will survive, but many will die, and it'll all be for FESIKH, to be exact. FESIKH is a gray mullet fish that's been dried in the sun and fermented in salt for up to 12 months. This preparation method puts those who eat the fish at serious risk of botulism, which can be deadly. Health officials have asked people time and time again to avoid this part of the festival tradition, but they continue. 18 people died in 1991 from eating the fish, 2 in 2009, another 2 in 2010, and probably more since. Dozens more have also been hospitalized. Much of the danger comes from the lack of salt in the fish while it's being prepared, and some people also create FESIKH by using dead fish that they found floating on the sea surface. Number 6. Elderberries. Elderberry bushes, native to Canada, are common in many public places and people's gardens. The berries from these bushes are delicious in tea, syrups, supplements, wine, jams, and pies, and they are safe to eat if you harvest them while ripe and properly cook them. The problem starts when you try to use the leaves, twigs, seeds, and unripe berries. They contain fatal levels of the cyanide-producing glycoside. If the berries aren't strained properly or fully ripe when turned into something like a pie or tea, they can cause diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. If you devour enough unripe berries, you may be at risk of seizures, coma, and death. Just 1 cup of an elderberry product that hasn't been appropriately prepared can lead to serious illness, and up to 5 cups may lead to death. Fortunately, it's quite easy to tell when elderberries are ripe and safe for eating. They're a deep purple to black color. Don't pick unripe elderberries as they won't ripen once harvested. Never eat green or bright red elderberries. Fortunately, they taste bitter, so you probably won't want to eat them anyway. I was under the impression that dangerous food were things that could either eat you while you're trying to eat it or contain deadly poison that you may not always be able to remove properly. As it turns out, some completely ordinary food can also be deadly. Do you eat any of these foods? Do you know anyone who does? So, that was all for today. I hope you have watched the video up to this timestamp. Make sure to press the like button if it amazed you. Press the subscribe button if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, as it's totally free. You can follow me on all social media platforms. All links are given in the description. You can also watch other cool stuff. The playlist link is also mentioned in the description. I will catch you up soon in the next video. Till then, peace out.